coffee too. So the review is basically on this little guy right here. This, from my understand, is made to look like the Buck 119. So this is actually a Gordon knife from Harbor Freight, and it's not too bad. The sheath is actually real leather. It's not thin, but it's like thick. So I'd say it's like almost an 1/8 inch thick leather all the way around. So that's pretty nice. I've seen other videos on the Buck 119, and it just comes with a nylon sheath. But it's actually a pretty nice little sheath. Doesn't, I mean, it rattles in there, but it's not going to fall out. So the pommel and the guard, of course, are aluminum. It has a hard resin handle, so that's pretty nice. It's comfortable in the hands. I've noticed that some Buck 119s, they kind of change the handles, I guess, where it has these ridges for your fingers to go, and people don't like that. But it has a nice index right there. Let me move my finger. It has a nice index right here for you to put your index finger. So it fits really nice. It's got a 6-inch blade. And it is stainless. It is a GK22, so it's almost equivalent to like a 304, which isn't bad. It's got a tiny fuller on either side that's been machined out, and the fullers look nice. And it's in the style of a Bowie shape, hollow grind. So it is actually a really nice little blade for $26. And everything on it is super tight. Like I said, I watched other videos, and the way they did the handle is actually pretty smart. It is a full tang. Okay. There's a pin. The tang actually comes down into the pommel, because you can kind of make it up. They did a fairly decent job blending this so you don't see the pin, but there's a pin right here. So the handle comes all the way down into here, into this section, so it tapers out into there. But it's the top portion how they did it. Okay, there's it's about 3/4 thick, the tang, and they have cutouts here and here from the blade. What I mean is, let's see if you can see that. Now you notice like this top one up here, right over there, it has a square cutout. Which means in here where the cutout is like a square on one end. Okay, when you do that, it makes it kind of weak. That's a weak point. That's where it's going to break. So what they did on this was, it does have that cutout, but they put a radius in there, so it's more curved in the cutout, which is going to add more strength, because when you put an arch into something, it strengthens it up, so it's less prone to snapping and breaking. So that's actually kind of a plus. Like I said, I've watched other YouTubers who actually took the handle apart, and they were actually impressed that it wasn't a square shoulder, it was radiused in there. So that is actually a real plus. So it's less prone from the blade snapping from the tang. The mold itself, I mean, the handle on this is seamless. There's no seams, no nothing on this resin handle, which is really nice. There's a little bit of a ledge where the pommel is, but it's nothing that's going to affect you. It's like a smooth transition. So they cleaned this up really, really good when they made it. Has a little choil down here, not a big one, where you can put your finger. So you can do that fine work that people like to use. And it is fairly sharp out of the box. I have not done anything to this edge whatsoever. So let's see about getting a piece of paper here. And let's test it. I mean, it's fairly sharp. Like I said, right out of that box. So, can't complain about that at all. Not one bit. That is a really good edge they put on this. And it's a, double bevel edge, of course. So it's like a 20-25 degree edge on this. But it bites. Really good. So, what do I think of a $26 little Bowie knife? Or Bowie, however you pronounce it. From Harbor Freight. It's pretty damn nice. I mean, if you're on a fixed budget, which some people are, especially nowadays, but you want, I'd say, a decent camping knife. I would say this is not a bad little purchase. Can't speak for the pocket knives that they have, obviously. Or their machetes, because they got machetes too. But for something like this, I would say it's decent. It is a really decent, sturdy knife, and when you hold it, it feels sturdy in the hands too. Like I said, the resin handle, there's no seams, no nothing. Everything just kind of like fits together nice. Now, is this going to hold up to, a $60, $80, $100 knife? Probably not. It is stainless. Like I said, it's GK22, which is almost equivalent to a 304. Which 304 is not a bad steel, because mainly 304 is a surgical steel. And it's totally safe for like food product. So, because it has a lower amount of nickel in it. There is a new type of stainless out. It's called GK33, which has absolutely no nickel in it. It is a hydrogen stainless. So what's the difference? When you make stainless steel, you have to dump a ton of nickel into it to make it stainless from carbon. Basically regular steel. It's all stainless is made out of. It's regular steel, and they dump a ton of nickel in it. The foundry I work in, we do stainless. We do what you would call like regular standard stainless, and then we do, let's say, like we'll take like 316. We'll do regular 316, and then we'll do 316L. L stands for low nickel, which makes it more of a food friendly knife because it has very little nickel in it, just enough to turn into stainless. Okay? Because the problem with stainless, one of the issues, it's a really hard metal, so it's prone to breaking. That's why swords aren't made out of them. The other problem is, depending on the stainless that you're using, you don't want to use it on food, because even though it's just already forged into a blade, that nickel is still there, even on the surface, so it can wash out into your food. That's why surgical stainless steel is either like 304, because 304 has a very low amount already in it, or they'll do like a 309. A lot of times it's 304. Okay. And then they'd have 304L, which even has less nickel in it. GK33, though, to turn it into stainless, doesn't use nickel. It uses hydrogen. They figured out they can turn stainless make stainless without using nickel with hydrogen. So it has more chromium. 304 has more chromium in it, which makes it stronger than regular, like we'll say 316. 316 has less chromium in it, more nickel. So just something to be aware of, you know. If you do use stainless steel knives, like kitchen knives, you're safe. They're normally 304 because, like I said, it is a surgical stainless and a food grade stainless. But if it's like 316, unless it's like an L, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't use it. Because like I said, that nickel is still going to wash off. Even gets on your hands every time you touch the blade. It's like this one, like I said, it's equivalent to 304, so it has very little nickel in it. So you're perfectly safe with something like this. So it's just something to be mindful of. But it's kind of neat that they do have a stainless that has no nickel in it. And I would like to see somebody make a blade out of that, GK33. So, because there's numerous types of stainless out there, just like there's numerous types of carbon steels, you know. But, as everyone likes to say, I digress. Not a bad little knife, you know, at all. Like I said, it has the shape of the Bowie. So if you can't afford the original Buck 119, and I've heard people don't like the newer version of the Buck 119. I don't know. This is what I've heard and what I've read. They say it's not as good as it used to be. So if you don't want to get the Buck because you've heard the same thing, don't want to spend all that money on it because I guess it's like $80 for it, this wouldn't be a bad little deal, I don't think. Like I said, it's not going to hold up to a $100 knife. No way. But for a regular, like, maybe you're going out camping and you just need something to just whittle wood or just chop something, maybe. I mean, I won't do any heavy chopping with this. I'm not going to sit here and try and do a destructive test on it. Don't do those. But that's just me. But I would say if you're looking for a really pretty fairly decent budget knife, there you go. 26 bucks. And sometimes you can get it on sale for 20. So I was fortunate. I had my daughter pick this up and she gets a 20% off. So, because she works there. And I told her, hey, pick this up. I want to do a review on it. And I like it. I think, yeah, it's worth the $25. I really do. You know, they're not asking for a ton of money on it. Feels good. Not super heavy in the hands. It's handle heavy, because if you try and find point of balance, it's going to be back here. It's like right in here. So it's more handle heavy, and it's due to the resin, because it's thick resin on there. But it's comfortable. Nice, good, like I said, nice, good, thick, decent leather. It's not flimsy at all. And then it's got, on the inside, it does have it's going to be hard to see that, but it has a plastic sheath in there that wraps around right here, and then this portion where this is just leather. So it kind of protects the leather, so when you put it in here, you know, you're not stabbing through the leather, which is kind of nice. And then the snap secures it nice and good. I mean, that's not, you don't get much play out of that, so that's kind of nice. So yeah, 26 with tacks, you can't beat it at all. Nice little Bowie knife. Of the Buck 119 model. So sharp as heck out of the box. It's fairly decent edge. I mean, you wouldn't have to do nothing to it. Maybe strop it just to clean up the edge. Other than that, you can use it right out of the box. So that's all I have for you guys. I have a few more videos I got to put together. And talk to y'all later.